on, everybody? So I already reviewed this movie a couple of years back when I did a few remakes. I was doing like a remake week, so I did like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Dawn of the Dead, Sorority Row, and this one. But since I just did 1, 2, and 3 of Poltergeist, I figured why not do the original, my the remake again. So, this is my on second thought review of Poltergeist 2015. So, saw this one at the theater, then I saw it when I reviewed it. I've seen this maybe 2 or 3 times. This would be my third or fourth viewing. And overall, I think this is just a fine remake. Like, it's one of those remakes that kind of just does the same thing. So, it doesn't really bring a whole lot new to the table. It doesn't really do a lot of different things. It just kind of utilizes modern day technology. So, the effects are a little bit better. They're not as aged. Some of the visual effects in the original, it wasn't that good, especially part two. Part two has some pretty bad aged effects. But other than that, I think the first one, the original, is way more effective than this one. This one's fine, but the acting's not a huge improvement over the original. I think Sam Rockwell is pretty good. I like him as an actor, but I wasn't really crazy about the wife in this movie. The kids are still not good kid actors, just like the original. I did think that they improved a little bit with the daughter in this one. They actually have a scare sequence in this movie that was what I thought was missing in the original, was the daughter having like more of a presence in the film, more screen time, some scare sequences with her, because she never has anything happen to her in the original movie. She just goes away, and then she comes in at the very end with hickeys all over her neck, and she's like, what the hell's going on? Nothing happens with her. In this one, there's actually a scene with her involving her phone. She goes in the garage, bodies come up. It's like, finally, they're actually doing something with this character. So they improve in some areas, like the effects, like I said. But I think the original is far superior than this one. And I just wish this one would have done something a little bit different. Just add some more things in here and, maybe pull a twist, do something different. Nothing surprised me because it's just beat for beat the original. So that's not what I like in a remake. I like them to do something a little bit different, like the Child's Play remake. I know I talk about it a lot in this on this channel since the movie came out, but that's what a good remake is. They take elements from the original and that's it. They create a new story, or they just do different things, just try to surprise the audience. Don't give us the same thing that we already got from the original. Otherwise, it's pointless, like the Psycho remake, where it's shot for shot the same thing. This isn't that bad. It's shot differently. It's not like the same thing. It's not the same dialogue and everything. But it's pretty much the same thing. So let's get into it. Spoiler discussion. Now, this was produced by Sam Raimi. I did not know that. Doesn't feel like a Sam Raimi movie, really, at all. I didn't see anything that was like, oh, that's Sam Raimi right there. I bet that was his idea. Nothing crazy going on. This is PG-13, just like the other ones. Although the first one was PG, because PG-13 was not around in 1982. So, this movie opens up with this video game, and I'm assuming this movie was in 3D. It felt like it. There was a couple of moments, like with a drill or something, and I was just like, was this movie 3D? I didn't see it in 3D at the theaters, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was in 3D, because there was some moments in here, for sure. But yeah. That's my question to you guys. Is this 3D? I could just look it up, honestly. But I just wrote it down. I was like, is this 3D? It felt like it. So, yeah, as opposed to opening up with the national anthem, that's not a thing no more on the TVs. They had to do something different here. So they opened up with a video game that kind of is foreshadowing a little bit the end with the zombies, or the bodies coming out of the ground. And so, in this one, what's a little bit different here is that they move into this neighborhood that's already been around for like 2 decades. And that, like the cemetery has been gone and moved for a couple of decades now. They're not the first ones living in this house, and the dad's not the one who like works for the company that built the area. He's, laid off from John Deere, the, that company. So this is a little bit different, but not a whole lot. So as soon as they get there, they change all the names, so they pull like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake where all the names are different. So Maddy, instead of Carol Ann, she talks to the closet first instead of the TV. That was a little bit different. And they start putting things in the ground, and like the soil there, it like rejects foreign objects. They stick like twigs in the ground, and it just pushes it back up, foreshadowing things to come later on when bodies are being thrown out of the ground. And then we see the new Zelda, played by a Scottish guy. Maybe he's Irish. I think it's like this Scottish actor. So that's different. And I mean, you're not gonna capture what Zelda did. I mean, her voice is iconic to me. Like, she will always be that character. No one's ever gonna replace her. Like, no one's ever gonna beat Loomis, Donald Pleasance. No one's gonna play Loomis like Donald Pleasance did. No one's ever gonna play Zelda like, or I keep calling her Zelda. Tangina. That's the actress name. Tangina. No one's ever gonna play Tangina like Zelda Rubinstein. So that's what I meant to say. So we got this guy, and he has like a reality Ghostbusters like TV show, and that's set up pretty early on. So it's like this family is already aware of this person before they have to like hire them. So that's different. And the whole like this house is clean. It's not like just a line like it was in the original. Like this is like a popular catchphrase that everybody knows because it's like in the show. And then they have the whole like they're here line, but at first it's like they're coming, and then she says they're here, but it's not the same at all. So that's iconic in this one, of course. And then something very similar to the kitchen scene happens here. Instead of like chairs stacking on top of each other, we got a bunch of like comic books stacking on top of each other. Instead, like a deck of cards, and then they all just start flying away. The daughter in this one is a spoiled brat who's just constantly like bitching and like, there's no cell service. I want a new phone. And she doesn't have a good relationship with her siblings like in the original, so that's different. And they're way more louder and rambunctious and just annoying as fuck. Like Griffin, the son, he's way more of a scaredy cat than he was in the original. Like, he is just constantly like, I'm scared of this, I'm scared of that. And then they're just making him such a scaredy cat so that, he has a stronger character arc at the end when he finally grows some balls and runs into the closet like, I'm gonna save the day. So, but his character was annoying. Anybody else? I thought he was just absolutely irritating. Because she's just constantly yelling. And then the whole cemetery reveal thing is way earlier into the film than the original, and this movie overall is actually like 20 minutes shorter than the original. So it tries to like get through the movie a lot quicker, the story. Another thing that's different here is the use of modern technology. We got cell phones instead of a staticky tube television. We got a flat screen, and then they use drones, and then they use the drone to go into the other side towards the end, and we actually get a good look at the other side. We never got one in the original. We did in part 2, but that just looked stupid. In this one, we actually get to see the other side, and it's basically just walls and floors and ceilings covered in dead bodies and arms just like reaching out to grab you. It's actually kind of spooky looking, but it's all like CGI. There's a lot of CGI in this movie. There's hardly any practical effects. We get the same tree and clown scare, but the clown scare actually comes first in this one before the tree, whereas in the original it's the tree in like the first act almost, and then the clown is all the way at the end. The clown in this one is nowhere near as terrifying as the original clown, and it just has this cackling laugh that would never be on, a part of any doll. Like, no one's gonna sell a toy that has that laugh attached to it. So that must have been like some kind of supernatural, thing happening there. That was not really a part of that doll, but I thought it was kind of effective. The whole like nose thing on a string, like going in between his legs. I thought that was kind of cool. But the clown doll was not scary looking to me. The original was. This tree wasn't even creepy looking, but it had like the hands for like twigs, like the twigs and branches on it were like fingers and stuff. Kind of reminded me of like Final Destination 2. But I did like in this one that the tree actually like chased him through the house all the way down the stairs and like dragged him all the way back up. So I thought that was kind of a cool addition. And then Carol Ann, or Maddy, I like when she got dragged into the closet, it immediately made me think of Tony Goldwyn and Ghosts. The way it's shot, the way it looks, like the ghosts like grab her arms and they like drag her back. It's like the same thing in Ghosts when they get dragged into hell, I guess. It just immediately made me think of Ghosts. And instead of getting the whole face tearing thing, in this one we got the same skeptical paranormal investigator who instead gets the drill scare. Which, why are these ghosts fucking with them like that? Why are they scaring them instead of just killing them if they have the capability? Why aren't they killing them? Why are they taunting them? Why are they wasting their time doing this stuff? Whatever. Um, so yeah, that's lame. Like, instead of a face tear, we get a drill, and then one little addition we get here with the dad is that he starts like puking black, liquids out or whatever, and a bunch of worms and maggots, and then he sees like his reflection, and it looks like they're all coming out of his eyes and nose. Which maybe that was Sam Raimi. That seems like something maybe he did. Maybe that was his addition, but that's just more CGI that never really the reflection. It's just lame stuff. It's not effective like the original. It's just quick, stupid little scares. The music and score overall is, again, nowhere near as effective or iconic as Jerry Goldsmith's score in the original. It's missing a lot of spots. There's lots of moments where there's just like no score at all. I like how when the guy's getting attacked by the drill, the whole house just seems to be soundproof, every room, and no one can hear him scream. No one ever runs up. The one chick was like in the hall right before that scene. Where does she go? They even have like cameras set up in that room already, and they have surveillance downstairs where they could see what's going on in that room. The camera was pointing right at him when he was getting attacked with a drill. No one ran up, no one checked, he never said a word about it. Bullshit that he even stayed another minute. He would have left. After that, fuck yeah. It's not the same as tearing your face and it all being a hallucination. Like, he was actually threatened, by someone else trying to kill him other than him. It's way different. He would leave. He would not stay another minute. Now, in the original, when they find the whole portal thing, they find the entrance and the exit. It's the same thing here, closet, ceiling. In the original, I couldn't see that if they were using a mattress. I would hope so, because that's smart. In this one, they do. They actually show them grab the mattress and they put it in the living room floor. So when they fall through the ceiling, they have a cushion. I didn't see that in the original. Maybe there was, but I didn't see it. Then we get this stupid little jump scare here that's just so predictable. You see it coming a million miles away when the dad sees his daughter, who he thinks is his daughter, in the closet, and it's just the whole like slowly reaching out to grab the shoulder, and then as soon as he like gets close enough to like barely touch her, she like whips around, and she's got like this weird face that kind of like looked like the poster of One Missed Call, just the big like black eyes or something. It's just so stupid. And he gets like thrown back. It's just, stop it. I don't think there's any jump scares in the original, and this one does, because it's modern day and modern audiences want jump scares. Not me. Fuck that. I like how this paranormal investigator is, ex-wife's. She's the ex-wife of this new Tangina, and they're just bickering about their relationship and how things went sour, as if there's not more important things going on. Like, yeah, let's just keep bickering about your failed marriage while this chick's daughter might die. How about you focus on the task at hand instead of bitching about your failed marriage? But the mom doesn't even seem to care. She's like smiling, laughing at their, marital problems. Like, no, I would be pissed. Like, how about you two shut the fuck up and continue helping me with my daughter who might die? All right? Enough of your bullshit. Focus on me. And then I like that the son this time goes inside. That's a bit different, instead of the mom. But they send the drone in first, and that's when we get a good look of the place. I thought that was smart. Like, let's send the drone in first before we go in there risking our lives. And then we get the whole bathtub scene once again, and when they try to leave this time, there's actually like an invisible barrier that won't even let them leave. the car's like spinning, the tires are spinning, and it won't budge, and then the car flips over and it gets dragged back into the house. It's like drawing them back in. Thought that was a pretty cool effect. And then we get like a Paranormal Activity, 2 moment where Maddy is getting like dragged all the way up the walls and up the stairs, getting thrown back into the closet. Thought that was a pretty cool scene. And then we get, of course, another like CGI moment. It had to be the corpse that comes out of like the driveway. In the original, you had like all the caskets coming out. There's no caskets in this one, but the corpse that comes out looks pretty bad. It's not as scary. And of course, the house starts to collapse like in the original, but in this one, it like collapses a little bit and then it blows up, and a bunch of blue light starts coming out of the roof. And then we get this like Hooper, a little wink, a little Easter egg for the director of the original. It says like Hooper High School. So I thought that was kind of a cool little Easter egg right there at the end. And then instead of the whole like pushing the TV out of the motel room, joke at the end of part 1 of the original. In this one, the ending joke is that they go to find a new house, and then they just ditch the realtor there. Like, no, fuck this place. And they get back in the car and leave while she's like busy talking to nobody. They're like, what? It has closet space, plenty of closet space. Nope, we're leaving. We don't need closets, and we don't need creepy trees next to the house either. So not a whole lot different. So it's very meh. I probably gave it a higher recommendation in my first video, but that's because I didn't watch it shortly after the original. The original is far superior than this. I would not put this in a top 10 or 20 remakes. I would probably put it in a top 10 worst remakes, but I haven't seen a lot of remakes. But there's my thoughts on the Poltergeist remake. What did you think about it? Put your thoughts of it in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you've seen, you can hit the like button and become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen.